Hello, people. How's it going? Well, as the thumbnail says, this will be on Queen Elizabeth. The Queen of England sadly died on September 8th of this year, of course, last Thursday. Yes, last Thursday. My calendar. I've read this book. I'll be reviewing this book, but I'll also be trying to talk a little bit about her. I'm going to try to keep this under 15 minutes, though. One, being that I was born in England, and my mother is English, and half of my family is English, I am half English. I was born in Suffolk. I am an Englishman. I have a Union Jack right over there. English. That's not the English flag, because the English flag is different than the Union Jack flag. That's a UK flag. Ireland, Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and England. Anyway, but yes, the Queen unfortunately, sadly passed away on last Thursday. So my mother is sad about that. I'm sad about it. It was the Queen of England. That woman has been queen longer than I've been alive. She was on the throne longer than I was alive. Should put it that way, I suppose. One, this is a very good book, a very excellent book on the Queen of England. This book is about, I think, 10 years old, so it hasn't done the last 10 years of her life, of course. But this is an excellent book, very in-depth book. She was a fascinating woman. I mean, her first prime minister was Winston Churchill. Her first prime minister when she became Queen of England, or the UK, or Commonwealth of Nations, whichever you choose, was Winston Churchill. I mean, think about that. That's how long ago she was made queen. A long time ago. I mean, she lived through World War II history. She was an ambulance driver in World War II. She dedicated her life to being maybe not a monarch who had any real power at all, but as a good symbol. She had class. She was apparently a very nice person, a kind person. She had class. She had charm. She stood up to this, that, and the other. I mean, I'm trying to avoid all the negative comments that people have made, I've noticed, on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. I was like, you people need to get a history book. This woman put up with a lot. This woman committed her life to her country. I mean, she was an inspiration to people. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, I guess I'm having a hard time explaining it. But I'll just do my basic facts first, and then I'll explain it as I go along. But she lived 96 years. That's quite a life. That's 70 years on the throne. That's a lot longer than I've been alive. By about 10 and a half years. Somewhere around there. She was born April 22nd, 1926. Died September 2022. Her dad, who was George VI, yes, that George VI, the one who was in the movie The King's Speech. If you want to watch a good movie about her dad, and a little bit about her here and there, watch The King's Speech. It is a good movie. It is an excellent film about her, about him, I should say, about her dad. Her dad was an interesting guy. That's an interesting movie. The Queen with Helen Mirren, I believe it is. I'm moving this by memory. Excellent movie about the Queen herself. Both movies are very good. There is a book out there that I can't find at the moment to recommend on George V, but it's worth reading. It's not very long. It might be half of that. But he was interesting too. She was the Queen of the UK and of other Commonwealth nations. There are 15, I wrote it down, there are 15 nations in the Commonwealth of Nations. Like Canada, Australia, Jamaica, Papua New Guinea, so on and so forth. There are still nations in the Commonwealth. There are still nations that the UK was the head of. I mean, she was the head of these independent. I don't know how Commonwealth of Nations things work, and I should have looked it up better, but she was still in charge. I mean, she was a figurehead, but she was a good figurehead. She was noble. She was gracious. She was kind. She was long-suffering with certain members of her family. And I'm not going to go into the family part. I'm sorry. This isn't about them. I think way too many of them are screwy and there are people who love the royal family. I don't mind royalty. I don't mind discussing the royal family. going backwards. We have Charles III now on the throne. England has had two other Charleses. One started an English Civil War, and the other one just didn't work out. We now have a third one. But who knows? He might actually turn out to be a decent king. We have to give the man a chance. We can't just throw him out. We have to give the man a chance. I guess it's hard for me to explain what I liked about Elizabeth. Well, her longevity, which was always a joke. She was going to outlive Charles to keep him from getting to the throne, which fairly unfortunately she didn't. I think the death of Philip, her husband, kind of played a part in why she died. I mean, once you've been with someone that long, I think when they were married in the 1940s, I think. I should have looked at it. But they were devoted to each other. She was devoted to her calling to rule nations. She was devoted and put all her effort into being... Yeah, she was a symbol. She had no power. She had no real power. Unlike, the first three Hanoverian kings, which basically she's a Hanoverian. They changed their last name to Windsor, I believe, a little before or after the First World War, because Hanover is German, so they became Windsors. But George the First, which was 1714 to 1725, or 27, sorry, he was asked by England, we know you're German and you're way over there in Hanover, but we need to make sure that we stay a Protestant country. Could you please come over here and rule? The man did not speak English. King George the First did not speak a word of English. He was German all the way through. By the time I think George III, yes, that's George III, he was English. And I know people like to bring up the fact that, they were German. Yeah, you say that now in Piccadilly Square, you would be lynched. She was English. The Queen was English. You say that she was anything other than English, you will not get out of that country alive. Because the people loved her. They thought they really thought a lot. They not have thought much of her kids, but of her they loved, they respected, they liked Queen Elizabeth. She was a very popular ruler, very popular queen. Lived a very interesting life. I mean, as I said, she was in World War I, two. I can tell you one before. World War II. Her first prime minister was Winston Churchill. Married one guy her whole entire life for a very long time. I forget how long they were married. Oh, wow, a long time. Anyway, I mean, I keep looking at my notes, which I no longer need because I said it. A book, though, I would recommend, just on a side note, is this one, where all the kings and queens of England in the entire history, all the way from the very first one to the last one. But, if you want to know who the queen was before, excuse me. The House of Hanover. I guess 1901, I think. Well, that's what the book says. But excellent book on all the kings and queens of England. Excellent history. Good book. History is fascinating. She may not have had real power as a monarch, but she was treated as if she did. She was treated very well. She was loved. She did her duty. She was a woman of strength, a woman of courage, a woman who just didn't back down. She sacrificed a lot to be Queen of England. Unfortunately, the untimely death of her dad, King George VI, that is a good movie. I know I keep bringing the movie up, but watch The King's Speech. It is a very good film. Anyway. I'm not very good at reviews at the moment. This is something new I'm trying. It talks about her dealings with Charles and Diana and, all the other interactions she's had, the Falkland War, the fact that she was at the beginning of the death knell of colonialism and started up the decolonialism, and I know what liberals are doing, and I know what liberals are saying, and I know all these people who don't like her, blah blah blah. Read a history book. The woman was not responsible for colonialism. She didn't start it. I'm getting off track. I know I am. I just get tired of revisionist history, basically tarring and feathering people because they don't like some aspect of their past or their country's past. No country is perfect, people. No country ever has been. But anyway, I'm digressing, and I know I'm digressing. That woman has been queen longer than I've been alive, as I've said. I think she's worth studying. I think she's worth reading about. Like I said with this book. I don't think that she was she wasn't a bad queen. She was a very good queen. What was that? Something just beeped. Interruptions. Let's see, was it my phone? Sorry. This might be an emergency or something, so I'm checking real fast. I don't think so. Well, what that was? Maybe that was the queen saying, "Go to it, young man." Maybe the queen was giving me a sign from heaven saying, "You're doing fine." But anyway, being English, or even half English, I don't care. I'm also part Scot too, so yes, I am. My great grandmother was Scottish. Christine. She married a guy from South Africa, an Englishman. So I have a lot of family everywhere. It's very complicated. I love it. But it was sad that she died. I mean, she was an elegant lady. She was graceful. She was strong-willed. She's gone through a lot in her life. I know I keep repeating myself, but it's difficult to explain. One of which is I'm doing it this way, and I'm still not overly comfortable doing it this way, but that's partly why I'm doing this. I think anybody who could be a monarch for over 70 years and still be loved by the people had to have had something about their personality, their character that was enduring, that was courageous, that was wonderful, that was beautiful, it was just something about her that people liked. They may not have liked much about her kids, particularly Charles. I'm sorry, Charles. Not everybody likes you. But maybe you'll be a good king. I hope so. Because the last two Charleses were not. I'm sorry, I'm a historian. Maybe I'll talk about that one day. But anyway. But she was everything good about English character, about courage, about nobility, strength. She listen to her radio announcements. Listen to her Christmas announcements. This was a woman of faith. Let's not forget that. She was a woman of faith, of strong beliefs, of strong character. She loved England. She loved her country. She believed in her country. She believed in the English people. She believed in the history of the English people. I'm trying to get to 15 minutes, but I know I'm distracting myself. I shouldn't. But this flag means something to me. I am English. I know I don't look English, but I'm English. And I don't sound English because I wasn't there long enough. I lived there for 2 years. I am Suffolk. I am from Suffolk. Same place that Lady Jane Grey was from. Look it up. But there was something about her that people liked, and I think it was her personality, her smile, her friendliness, her graciousness, her easy manner with people. But the Queen is no more, sadly. And God save the Queen, and God save the King. Even though he is Charles. It's not his fault. Maybe. But anyway, God save the Queen. I mean that. She was a great woman. I mean, I would rank her right up there with Margaret Thatcher. And I liked Margaret Thatcher too. She was one tough cookie. One iron lady, as they called her. I do have biographies of her. I should do that one too. But read this book. Excellent book. I am going to order this book for somebody, and I know who they are if they're watching this. You'll probably get it in October. Maybe early this month, but probably in October. along with other things. Or two hobbit-like creatures. Inside story, people. But read this book. It's one of the better books I've read on royalty. Read this book. If you want to talk about, I mean, they're not very long. They're all of them, but they're not very long biographies of these people. And it is interesting. I mean, it's a great resource book. It is a great resource book. But anyway, I'm rambling. Mainly because that's what I do. Read the book, people. Read it. It's worth reading. It's a great book. She was a great monarch. She was a great queen, a great lady, a great person. Everything that was great, noble, and wonderful about being English. All her better qualities. Not perfect, because no one is. But certainly was better than most queens of England. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, behave yourselves, people. Because you know I'm not going to. I don't know how. Later, read the book. There will be a test.